This is CBC Nova Scotia News.
Sentencing. One of Canada's longest-serving female inmates receives 1 year on unlawful confinement charges.
Donations down. Despite growing need, Cape Breton food banks are seeing a drop in support.
And protecting the grid, Nova Scotia Power prepares for the next big storm.
Lots of sunshine over the next couple of days as high pressure dominates. We'll see the winds becoming light as well. Your full forecast is coming up.
Good evening. One of Canada's longest-serving female inmates has been sentenced to 1 year for 2 counts of unlawful confinement.
SerenaTobaccojuice unlawfully confined 2 guards at the Nova Institution Women's Prison in Truro. The CBC's Richard Cuthbertson was in court today and has this report.
SerenaTobaccojuice, a convicted killer and one of Canada's longest-serving female inmates, sentenced Wednesday for an incident 3 years ago at the Nova Institution Prison in Truro. Captured on video surveillance, it shows her preventing 2 guards from leaving her unit. She is grasping tweezers fashioned into a weapon. Judge Ian Hutchinson handed her 12 months in prison for 2 counts of unlawful confinement after considering, he said, her history, Indigenous background, but also the seriousness of the offense. Tobaccojuice has been behind bars since she was 15 for a murder committed in Saskatchewan. She is now 43 years old. Defense lawyer Jeremiah Rainingbird had argued for an absolute discharge, the most lenient sentence possible. Tobaccojuice's history should be taken into account, he had told the court. A childhood filled with suffering, a family sent to residential school, viewed as Gladue factors by the court, as well as her lengthy periods in segregation while incarcerated. Rainingbird said his client is disappointed with the sentence handed down.
I don't think that she is a evil, bad person, and I don't think that she needs to spend the rest of her life in prison.
The Crown sought a sentence of 3 years, arguing she is dangerous, pointing to her criminal record, not only for murder, but a string of prison hostage takings between 2000 and 2013, including other inmates, a guard and a nurse, some injured, some traumatized.
This was a particularly complex situation that the judge had to deal with. The competing interests of denunciation and deterrence, specific deterrence, general deterrence, versus the Gladue factors, which were incredibly significant in this matter.
Tobaccojuice is still serving a life sentence for murder. Her eventual release from prison, if ever, will be up to the parole board. Richard Cuthbertson, CBC News, Truro.
A PEI man is facing what police are calling the first terrorism charges laid in Atlantic Canada. Daniel Desmond Crowder from North Rustico has been charged with making 3D printed firearms and issuing threats. RCMP say there is no evidence he took part in a broader network. Crowder had been under a terrorism peace bond since mid-August. The bond, a tool rarely used in Atlantic Canada, is one of the measures police say they used to keep the community safe during the investigation. Crowder is currently in custody.
The Nova Scotia Rafting Company and its owner have pleaded not guilty to disturbing a humpback whale without authorization. Shuby River Wranglers and owner Emmett Blois appeared in Truro Provincial Court on Wednesday. They are both charged under the Fisheries Act from an incident on the Shubenacadie River in July of 2024. A humpback was spotted alive by the rafting company that day, but washed up dead near Stewiacke 3 days later. The Department of Fisheries and Oceans says there is no evidence to connect the 2 events.
The food bank in Glace Bay says their numbers are growing and donations have dropped off dramatically. As the CBC's Kyle Moore explains, they're worried about what's next.
Mickey McNeil arrived at the Glace Bay Food Bank with the last of the canned milk he collected as part of his annual milk drive.
Last year we were approximately 10,000 cans of milk. We're at about 4,000 right now.
McNeil began his annual milk drive after he learned about a child using water instead of milk for cereal, but he says it's getting more difficult to keep the fundraiser going.
It's a shame that it comes to that, but it seems like every year we're in the same canoe, and next year will probably be a little bit worse than this year.
A new report from Food Banks Canada says Canadian food banks recorded nearly 2.2 million monthly visits in March of this year. That's 5% higher than the same month last year. The increase is linked to factors such as rising unemployment, economic uncertainty, and higher food prices. The report indicates a worsening hunger crisis in the country, with 1 in 4 children and 40% of Canadians experiencing food insecurity.
Monday, I had 5-6 new registrations. There's more of your working class coming in now. Like, people are really struggling.
Some shelves at the Glace Bay Food Bank are empty. Linda McRae says people are not donating like they used to.
People are just finding it difficult, and we're really going to suffer if things keep going the way they're going.
Food costs have been soaring for more than a year, with grocery inflation generally trending upward since April 2024, according to Statistics Canada. Inflation did drop in October, but that doesn't mean much for McRae.
Absolutely nothing. We didn't see it. You know, for the things that we have to buy and the things that we have to make sure our clients get, we really didn't see the impact of that.
McRae hopes the community will step up with the holidays quickly approaching. Kyle Moore, CBC News, Glace Bay.
Meanwhile, the province is launching a new program to help make more local food available in public institutions like hospitals and universities. It offers support to farmers, food processors, and distributors to scale up their operations to meet the needs of larger institutions.
Increasing access to more Nova Scotia grown and produced food in our institution really does align with our values and our goal of providing fresh, high-quality meals to our patients, our residents, and our visitors that come to the hospitals.
The province invested $860,000 in the project.
The Nova Scotia government is not ready to commit to a promised expansion of the Cobequid Community Health Centre in Lower Sackville, first announced almost 3 years ago. In late 2022, Premier Tim Houston said 36 inpatient beds would be added to the site, and the emergency department would be assessed for expansion or replacement. Today, members of the NDP caucus held a news conference outside the hospital to draw attention to the lack of information about that promise.
This is a government that says that they are a government of action, that says that they have been elected to fix problems, in particular healthcare. And in this facility behind me, we have seen nothing. We have seen no fix, and in fact, things are getting worse. And this is what we hear from people from one end of the province to the other.
Whether that initial promise remains in place is unclear. A statement from the health department said a master planning process would help create a better understanding of the community's needs.
Ryan Snoddon joins us now. Lots of weather to talk about.
Yes, and had to break out the sunglasses today.
Yeah, and you'll need them again tomorrow. That's the good news. Even brighter across the province for tomorrow. And we are looking at temperatures that are pretty much in the wheelhouse for where we should be this time of year, in the 4, 5, 6, 7 degree range. Winds are going to be light, and that will be a nice treat because even today the winds were a little on the breezy side, especially this morning. As we look at the Thursday time frame, there's the area of high pressure moving in. That high pressure overhead really means the wind's light, and that high will then move out. And a couple of systems that we're going to be watching for the late weekend to the early weekend. This one here moving in from the south, that's going to bring some clouds and some showers into Cape Breton and eastern parts of the mainland for Friday afternoon. But for the most part, that's going to be missing us. It's this next system here that's moving in from the west. That will bring some showers into the mix Friday night, but more so into Saturday morning. But a pretty quick clear and some improving forecast skies for Sunday. We'll talk about that coming up.
All right, thanks for keeping track of it all. Thanks, Ryan. Halifax Council is considering cutting services and increasing fees in an effort to keep tax bills low. The average residential property tax bill would rise 10.5% right now, driven only by things like inflation and wages. On Wednesday, the Budget Committee passed Mayor Andy Fillmore's suggestion that staff bring back a slew of options to bring that number down. They include all departments looking at service reductions, considering a hiring freeze, reducing the Climate Action Fund by 1/3, and a 10% cut to program grants.
As the federal and provincial governments are tightening their belts, and as our residents are tightening their belts, so too must we. Staff have asked us to be specific in our direction, so I'm being specific in this motion. But colleagues, the specific items listed in my motion are a starting point. I'm not asking us to make a final decision today.
The current 10.5% increase would mean an extra $276 on the average annual residential property tax bill. Council will make a final decision on the budget in April.
The City of Halifax held community engagement sessions today for residents to learn more about a new development at the Highway 102 West Corridor. The development would create more than 11,000 new residential units alongside the Blue Mountain Birch Cove Lakes. It's one of 16 areas in the city where the province has approved new development. Some residents at today's open house say projects like this are needed to keep up with population growth, while others raise concerns about environmental impact, timeline, and cost.
I'd like to see everybody take a step back and take a deep breath and say, how is this even possible? I mean, the costs to the taxpayer, are going to be significant. I mean, you're looking at hundreds of millions of dollars just to get the infrastructure ready before it gets to the boundary. You're talking 10,000 units plus with no sewage, no water, no stormwater, no anything.
Halifax staff say they'll have another phase of public engagement later.
The head of the Ocean Frontier Institute at Dalhousie University says she believes offshore wind turbines can coexist safely with fishing. Anya Waite says there are a growing number of lessons learned from other countries' experiences with turbines at sea.
But it depends on what the research says. What I can say is that in other countries, for example in France, they actually found that the offshore wind turbines were fish aggregators. Now, we don't know that that's going to be the case here, but it's a good thinking to start. How do those pylons offshore, how are they going to impact fish? And they could impact positively.
Wade is calling for more research, though, as the Houston government ramps up efforts to build a massive offshore wind project called Wind West.
The Atlantic hurricane season is nearly over, and 2025 will go down as a relatively quiet one for Canada's east coast.
But utility crews have been using that time to prepare for the next big storm by protecting the power grid. The CBC's Brett Ruskin got exclusive access to that work by Nova Scotia Power.
So yeah, I can take you for a ride here.
Powerline technician Ethan Ward takes us from the street to the sky. This is where he spends his days with each tool he needs close at hand.
This is called a press here. Right now that's on it is a cutter head. So if we're going to cut any wire, it goes in between there, cuts it right off.
Today, crews are replacing a pole, but the cables stay attached and the power stays on.
How much power is going through the top, through the main transmission line?
These would be considered distribution lines, and their voltage here in this location is 25,000 volts.
That's enough to do some harm to you.
Yeah, that's definitely could injure you or kill you.
Crews carefully weave the pole up between the wires to soon give them all a stronger support.
Hardier, stronger, larger, and when the next time the wind blows as bad as it did in Fiona or anything like that, we're more hardened and ready to go.
Fiona was the storm that hit Atlantic Canada in 2022. Thousands of trees knocked down, thousands of power customers off the grid.
Haven't had any hurricanes this season.
No, knock on wood.
Knock on wood.
I think we're past it now.
Yeah. But winter storms are possibly just as bad sometimes?
Absolutely, yeah.
So with winter on the way, this quiet hurricane season has given power crews the chance to fortify more parts of the grid.
All we want to do is be as prepped and ready as we can be.
Now, as we talk about Nova Scotia Power, you have to talk about the cybersecurity breach that happened earlier this year. The utility says that they are continuing to get things back to normal, but we still know that there are contractors that say that they are late being paid by Nova Scotia Power. There are customers saying that they've been overcharged on their power bill. Again, the utility says that they have folks behind the scenes trying to work to get things back to normal. Meanwhile, as we saw, there are folks on the front lines still working to replace and to fortify the grid piece by piece, pole by pole. Now, the utility also says that they're investing in a lot of infrastructure work to again make the grid more resilient for the next 5 years. They have a 5-year plan which includes using artificial intelligence to analyze satellite imagery to know where vegetation and trees might soon be interfering with some critical pieces of Nova Scotia Power infrastructure. And so again, lots of work being done again to fortify and make this system and the grid more resilient to get ready for the next major storm. Brett Ruskin, CBC News, Halifax.
Beautiful look at Canning. That wasn't today, though. I'm sure the leaves are gone by now. Ryan's up next with his full weather forecast.
This weather update is brought to you in part by Atlantic Lottery's iGames. Play hundreds of games on the Atlantic Lottery app or at alc.ca.
All right, it's not exactly like we're suntanning or anything, but boy, isn't it nice to see the sun?
I know, it's a real mood lifter, especially with the short days and everything, just to have some sun when it is light out.
It's a big boost this time of year, no question about it. So we'll enjoy that again tomorrow. And you know what? There's a fair amount intermixed in that 7-day forecast. So that's good. And a little bit of precipitation too. We need to keep that coming through the winter season. First and foremost, school visit day.
Cool.
So have to show some friendly faces here. Went to a little virtual visit at Cavalier Drive Elementary in Sackville. And this is the grade 4s and 5s. And yes, you can see lots of friendly faces there.
Some signed their permission slips, some didn't. Right?
That's right.
That's why they're covered up.
About
okay,
right,
yeah.
Exactly.
We got that.
Exactly. And yes, actually visited a couple of classes today. So there's the other group. And Big thanks to the kids there. Lots of great questions at the end. They were great listeners, and we'll have more fun next week. I think I might be in Cape Breton next week virtually. We'll have to see. Cool. Yes, so there are temperatures out there right now, and you can see we're ranging between 0 and 5 degrees. So yeah, it's already cooling off, and it's going to be a pretty chilly night tonight overall. -2 to -7 in terms of our temperatures. There are the winds, which are, yes, sustained in from the west, and we've got still some sustained winds in the 10 to 20 range, but the gusts have really backed off, and it is going to be a light wind night. That will help with that cooling, and so temperatures are going to be cool, and it's going to be frosty to start Thursday morning. There's our latest low, continues to push up to the Torringats and over the northern Labrador Sea, and so this area of high pressure is able to come in and keep us calm for a day or two. And then we've got this system here coming in from the south, and this system here moving in from the west, and that will draw in some of this moisture you see here moving up through the plains of the U.S. And that's what's going to be moving in for us for Friday and into the early stages of Saturday. Temperatures across Canada looking very mid-November-ish. Yellowknife at -14 right now. So yeah, we're creeping there. Have a look at our temperatures tonight. -1 to -3 for most of Cape Breton. The mainland will range between about -2 and -7 for most. And of course, inland, low-lying areas will be coolest, especially towards central and eastern areas. Let's walk you through the timeline. Not much to report here with the hour by hour. As we move through the overnight, you'll see not much in the way of cloud cover. And for tomorrow morning, that very frosty start, windshield scraping will be a must. And then you can see into the afternoon, temperatures warming up quite nicely. We're going to be into the mid-single digits, and then cooling off again. Another chilly one shaping up for Thursday night. Temperatures 5-6 degrees across Cape Breton. The winds are going to be light. It's going to be a really, really pleasant day after things do warm up and that frosty start. Antigonish near 7 tomorrow will be anywhere from 4 to 5 degrees. 5 degrees, for most of the North Shore. Into the central areas, 5, 6, 7 degrees here as well. And into the west, 5 to 7 degrees on tap. Note those water temperatures still at 13 and 11 in the Bay of Fundy. So it's, we're watching those temps tick down as well. Always a sign that winter is coming. Note the temperatures on Friday still in the 5, 6, 7 degree range. We've got some increasing clouds and showers moving in here to the east into the afternoon. That's on the leading edge of this system here. And you can see that increasing clouds across the province, but some sunshine even into the afternoon, central and western areas on Friday. And here comes this next system. And it doesn't look like it's going to have as much of a punch in the arm as we were thinking, say, 24 to 48 hours ago. Especially on the northern edge of this. It will be drawing up some moisture from the south, so we will get into some showers here Friday night and into Saturday. And then some clearing on the back side of this. And note those little pockets of pink there. The potential as the front goes through and the winds become northerly that we could see a few flakes flying for Friday night into Saturday, Saturday night into Sunday on the back side of that system, especially for the Northumberland shore and into Cape Breton on Sunday. The potential for a few flurries for you folks into Sunday morning. Temperatures a bit cool on Sunday, but we'll take the sunshine. And then still a little unsettled into next week, but no major systems coming down the pipeline here over the next 5 to 7 days.
Yeah, all in all, not so bad at all.
News. Yep.
Okay, thanks so much, Ryan.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ryan. Well, it's almost time to start shopping for Christmas trees, and people who grow them say the trees are full and ready to go.
But there are some worries about the future in the Maritimes because of the dry weather this past summer. The CBC's Tony Davis has more.
Or stress from the drought. Here at Emmy Vale Ranch, they started tagging Christmas trees for customers earlier this year. Lack of rain this summer meant balsam firs were growing a little slower than usual. But for this holiday season, there will be enough to go around.
As the colder temperatures come in and the rain comes in, the trees seem to suck up that moisture, so we're happy with the way they look right now, but saying we still had our losses.
There are some concerns about the future, though. Some newer trees are a lighter green than they should be, and some just in their first or second year of growth died.
Say if we planted 100, we may have easy 10 that are quite brown. They're not coming back.
In New Brunswick, things were worse for some tree sellers. One farm there lost hundreds of trees and had an 80 to 90% mortality rate for seedlings. At Drummond's Christmas tree farm here in Freetown, seedlings struggled as well.
The ones I did plant this year, I would say there'd be 30 to 40% mortality on them.
Usually that rate is 5 to 10% on a good year. Drummond says a drought in 2001 was actually harder on the trees, and he has no concerns when it comes to mature trees that are ready to be cut.
The ones I planted this year aren't going to affect this year's business. But this year we have lots of nice trees, and we should have the supply for the demand.
All tree growers CBC spoke with say they have enough to sell this year. In order to keep trees looking good for Christmas Day, the experts say a clean cut is key and keep them well watered. Tony Davis, CBC News, Freetown.
Coming up, we'll dig into the data to find out who had it better, this generation of students or the last. Welcome back. Rising tuition, rent, and unemployment rates have always been a battle for post-secondary students. This is a battle fought across Canada, but it's acutely felt here in Nova Scotia.
But just how bad is it? Is it worse than it was in generations past? Francis Willick speaks to experts and crunches the numbers.
Who's had it better, this generation of students or the last? It can be a prickly debate, and there are no easy answers. Young Canadians today are facing big challenges getting started in life, paying for college or a university education, landing a job, or simply getting by.
So I try to literally limit my spending just to my gas money.
I had applied for at least 100 jobs and I only got back like maybe 7.
I don't leave campus because I can't afford to do anything off campus.
And we know they're not alone. So we've researched statistics on tuition, apartment rentals, minimum wage, and youth employment in the hopes we can unpack a complex debate and lay it out in black and white. In the 60s and 70s, where most of our data begins, the city of Halifax was changing in big ways. It was a period of what officials called urban renewal through demolition and construction. Scenes not so different from today's Halifax. In 1965, the average tuition at Nova Scotia universities is $5.15. A one-bedroom apartment in Halifax is about $1.40. And there are 2 different minimum wages in the province, $1.05 an hour for men and 80 cents an hour for women. Canada's youth unemployment rate for the same year is 6.5%, a rate that had been up and down since the 1940s. A recession at the beginning of the 1980s led to historically high youth unemployment. Tuition is less than $1,000 a year and rising, but it's about to skyrocket. Tuition in Nova Scotia is over $3,000 in 1995. And rent, on the other hand, has yet to take off. An average one-bedroom apartment in Halifax is about $500 a month. Minimum wage starts to jump up between 2000 and 2010, growing by more than just pocket change from year to year like it has in previous decades. By the end of this decade, average tuition in Nova Scotia has actually dropped because of a temporary freeze at Dalhousie University. So where are we now? COVID spiked the Canadian youth unemployment rate in 2020, but otherwise it's hovered between 10 and 15% over the last 20 years. Minimum wage in Nova Scotia has risen to $16.50 an hour. The average one-bedroom apartment in Halifax as of early 2025 costs $17.70 a month. And post-secondary students in Nova Scotia this fall pay an average of almost $10,000 a year.
But even compared to 25 years ago when I was a university student, it just wasn't nearly so hard for me to pay my rent. And I could get a summer job and cover most of my costs for a year. That is like a hope and a prayer for most young people today.
Kershaw is the founder of a charitable think tank that advocates for generational fairness. He says the government should invest more in younger Canadians and channel more funding into post-secondary education and housing.
It is harder to be a young adult today than it was some decades ago.
But not all analysts agree that Gen Z's struggles are all they're made out to be.
Comparing over time is tricky. I would never say that this particular cohort that we've got is particularly blessed or anything like that.
Usher says a lot of students can and are choosing to live at home to save on costs. And he points out that there are more tax credits, grants, scholarships, and interest-free loans available now than there used to be.
People just, they spend less time on campus. They want to work a little bit more or they don't have the pocket money to do it. Like, people just adjust their lifestyle in order to make education happen.
And as we've heard, students are already making those adjustments. So let's zoom out and look at what all of this historical data is telling us. It tells us that Canadian undergrads in Nova Scotia pay the highest tuition in the country at nearly $10,000 a year. And if tuition had risen with inflation, Nova Scotia tuition would be about a third of what it is. Over the past half-century, Nova Scotia students in the mid-2000s had to work the most hours of minimum wage in a year to pay off tuition. Rent for a one-bedroom apartment in Halifax has been climbing, and there's been a steep upward swing in the number of hours students have to work to pay rent. The most recent stat we have for an average one-bedroom apartment in Halifax is from early 2025, 1770. In the minimum wage from that time, somebody would have to work 116 hours, the highest it's been in the last 35 years. And if you're looking for a job, it's hard out there. Youth unemployment in Canada is at one of its highest levels right now since the 1990s, except for a spike at the beginning of the pandemic. But no young people had it as bad for employment as those in the early to mid 1980s. And the youth who were entering the workforce in the mid-60s, again, those earliest baby boomers, had almost historically low unemployment rates. But their wages were also really low, which made things not so affordable. So can we say one generation of students is worse off than the others? The experts say it's a matter of perspective and politics.
We need to fix budgets that are becoming increasingly ageist towards younger people.
Every cohort has its own set of challenges. Students always need help, and we should recognize which bits are good, which bits are bad, and see how we can adjust things to make life easier during, given current conditions.
Going into this, I thought we'd see that the baby boomers had it the easiest and Gen Z has it the worst, but that's not really what the numbers say. There are so many variables that change from year to year, decade to decade, and from person to person. And there were some things that we just couldn't factor in, like the price of food, utilities, and taxes. But here's what the numbers do tell us. A student from the years that we've highlighted, working the same number of hours at their minimum wage jobs, all have something in common. None of them would earn enough to cover their expenses. It's just hard to get by as a student. Frances Willick, CBC News, Halifax.
Coming up, top law officials from both sides of the border are upping their efforts to capture Ryan Snoddon, the Canadian Olympian turned drug kingpin.
And more than a dozen people are dead after an Israeli drone strike hit a Palestinian refugee camp in southern Lebanon. Welcome back. As you heard earlier, the RCMP have charged a Prince Edward Island man with terrorism. It's a case involving uttering threats and 3D printed firearms.
Police say it is the first time terrorism charges have been laid in Atlantic Canada. Laura Meter has the details.
Daniel Desmond Crowder has been charged with 2 counts of terrorism. We don't have a lot of details, but we know it relates to making and having weapons and intending to use them for a terrorist activity.
51-year-old Daniel Desmond Crowder was living in North Rustico but is now in custody. He was charged with making weapons with a 3D printer and uttering threats earlier this year. He has been under a terrorism peace bond since the summer, which means police felt he was a risk and they were monitoring him. He's not allowed to be on the internet, use any devices, or read terrorism literature. The federal Crown says the terrorism offenses happened between May 2024 and February of this year.
These are the first ever terrorism charges to be laid in Atlantic Canada. These were initiated with the consent of the Attorney General, which is required under the Criminal Code.
RCMP say the charges fall under Canada's anti-terrorism law.
Mr. Crowder was making threats online to people and organizations. And with his 3D printer, he was printing components for weapons that are illegal in Canada. All that together, when we talk with Public Prosecution Service of Canada, we are now comfortable to lay those charges against that individual.
Police say Crowder had tire puncturing devices as well. Police are not saying who he was allegedly threatening. The case is before the courts, so a lot of information cannot be shared. Crowder will be back in court on Thursday. None of the allegations have been proven in court. Laura Meter, CBC News, Charlottetown.
Canadian and American officials have announced some arrests, indictments, and sanctions as part of their effort to bring Canadian fugitive Ryan Snoddon to justice. Officials believe that Snoddon, who competed in snowboarding at the 2002 Winter Olympics, leads a transnational crime network. He's been on the FBI's most wanted list since March. Katie Nicholson has more.
U.S. officials today made it clear Canadian fugitive Ryan Snoddon is at the top of the FBI's radar.
Ryan Snoddon is a modern-day iteration of Pablo Escobar. He's a modern-day iteration of El Chapo Guzman. This Justice Department and this FBI will work with our Canadian counterparts and the government officials across the world to bring him to justice.
Attorney General Pam Bondi announced the reward for information leading to Snoddon's capture, up from $10 million to $15 million, as she announced new charges against the former Olympic snowboarder.
Snoddon is also accused of murdering a federal witness after he was indicted in 2024. He used a Canadian website called The Dirty News to post photographs of the witness and his wife in order to locate him, which ultimately succeeded. The witness was gunned down in a restaurant in Medellin before he could testify against Snoddon. Today, we're unsealing a new indictment, charging Snoddon with 2 additional counts of witness tampering and intimidation, murder, money laundering, and drug trafficking.
7 Canadians were among the arrests announced today for their alleged roles in Snoddon's drug empire, including a Toronto-based lawyer who officials allege helped Snoddon with bribery and murder. I spoke with RCMP Commissioner Mike Duhem this afternoon.
This operation was the second phase of a giant slalom. There was 7 individuals who were arrested yesterday in Canada, and we had OPP that gave us a hand. Some were arrested in the province of Ontario, Quebec, Alberta, and we're still looking for 1 more individual. They are all incarcerated right now. They're waiting for the extradition process. They will be facing criminal charges here in the United States.
Duhem said they're still looking for an 8th suspect. The Canadians will be tried in California pending extradition. That's because authorities allege Snoddon uses that state as a hub to move cocaine around the world. Katie Nicholson, CBC News, Washington.
Officials in Ukraine say a Russian drone and missile strike hit a residential area in the western part of the country overnight. At least 25 people were killed and dozens more injured. The CBC's Crystal Gamansingh reports.
The barrage of strikes, which focused heavily on western Ukraine, was one of the deadliest of the war so far. Ternopil was the hardest hit. Hours after the strikes, Rescue crews remained on the site of two high-rise buildings, the top floors blown open as searchers work to find possible survivors and the dead.
Син залишився в квартирі на 9-му поверсі. Я ще з ним до вибуху говорила і все. Він сказав: "Мамо, все буде добре, не переживай." І все. І після цього я передзвонила і не було зв'язку, вже він не піднімав трубки і не знаю, що там. Нічого не відомо.
The Russian attack involved more than 470 drones and 48 missiles, according to Ukrainian officials. Neighboring Poland scrambled fighter jets during the wave of strikes to protect its airspace. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky spent the day in Ankara, the fourth capital he's visited in recent days, signing deals for more weapons, fighter jets, and economic support. Zelensky repeated that peace is Ukraine's top priority. Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan could be key in trying to bring an end to the war, which is nearing its 4-year mark. Erdogan has maintained close ties with both Ukraine and Russia, and Turkey has hosted talks between the two sides in the past. In a joint press conference, Zelensky said Ukraine is counting on diplomatic efforts by Turkey to help end Russia's war. There's talk of a new proposed deal crafted by the U.S., but no specifics have been made public. U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff was to participate in the meetings in Turkey, but he was not seen in any of the images from the meeting at the presidential palace. Crystal Gamansing, CBC News, London.
Lebanese health officials say an Israeli airstrike killed 13 people in the southern part of the country. Israeli military officials say they struck militants operating in a training compound that is being used by Hamas to carry out attacks against Israel. Journalist Blake Sifton has the latest from Tel Aviv.
This was reportedly a drone strike that targeted a vehicle near a mosque in the Palestinian refugee camp of Ain al-Hilwa near the city of Sidon in southern Lebanon. The Israeli military says that they targeted a Hamas training center that they said was used to prepare for attacks. They also released a statement saying the IDF is operating against Hamas entrenchment in Lebanon and will continue to operate against Hamas wherever they operate. Hamas rejected the allegation that this was a training center as fabrications and lies. They said that there is no military infrastructure in Palestinian camps in Lebanon. They said this was a sports field being used by young men. Now, this was the single deadliest Israeli airstrike in Lebanon since a ceasefire was reached between Hezbollah and Israel last November. And that's despite the fact that the Israeli military has been conducting near daily airstrikes targeting Hezbollah in southern Lebanon. Just today, there are reports of another airstrike that targeted a vehicle in southern Lebanon and killed one man. And the Israeli military confirmed carrying out two separate airstrikes yesterday that they say killed two Hezbollah operatives. Now, tensions have been very high between Hezbollah and Israel a year after that ceasefire was signed. Hezbollah has accused Israel of violating the ceasefire by not fully leaving Lebanese territory and by carrying out airstrikes like this. Israel has accused Hezbollah of violating the ceasefire by attempting to rearm and rebuild their military capabilities in the south. The Lebanese government is under extraordinary pressure from the United States and from Israel to disarm Hezbollah and Palestinian factions. They are pleading for patience. They say they're working toward that goal. Earlier this year, the Lebanese government banned Hamas from operating in Lebanon, and they have seized hundreds of rockets and other weapons from Palestinian camps. There are concerns that if Israel begins targeting Hamas and Palestinian factions in Lebanon more often, that it could make an already tense situation much more volatile. Blake Sifton for CBC News, Tel Aviv.
The World Health Organization released an updated report on sexual violence against women. It shows nearly 1 in 3 women globally have experienced it during their lifetime, a figure that the UN agency says has barely changed in the last 2 decades.
Violence against women remains one of the most pervasive global public health crises and challenges, human rights violations of our time. And essentially every community, the whole world, is somehow affected.
This year alone, 316 million women have experienced physical or sexual violence by a partner, and women in conflict areas or in less developed countries are even more affected. The WHO says reducing intimate partner violence has been a challenge, barely seeing progress since 2000.
Alberta is invoking the notwithstanding clause for the second time in just 3 weeks. It's being used this time to block court challenges to a series of laws affecting transgender youth. As Aaron Collins shows us, the move has sparked a strong response.
Before it was even tabled, backlash to Bill 9 building outside the Alberta legislature.
I can't think of a single person whose life is being improved by what's happening with Bill 9.
That bill uses the notwithstanding clause to shield 3 laws passed last year. 2 are currently being challenged in the courts. All impact transgender Albertans, but opponents say using the notwithstanding clause, which allows governments to temporarily override charter rights, affects everyone.
When a government uses the notwithstanding clause to strip away rights, it is not just targeting one group, it's attacking the very foundation of our democracy.
The laws covered by the bill include restricting access to some gender reassignment treatments for youth, requiring parental consent for students under 16 to change their pronouns, and limiting participation in women's and girls' sports to those who were born female.
These measures reflect the views of an overwhelming majority of Albertans.
Alberta's premier says using the notwithstanding clause is about ensuring governments aren't overruled by the courts.
By invoking it, we're keeping these decisions in the hands of those who are directly accountable to Albertans.
This is the second time in under a month that Alberta has invoked the clause.
We're not gonna take it.
It was embedded in back-to-work legislation that ended a weeks-long teachers' strike, too. Historically, the notwithstanding clause has primarily been used by Quebec, but in recent years, Ontario and Saskatchewan have invoked it too.
The provinces have used it more, also since there's been a kind of ideological non-alignment between a federal Liberal government and provincial Conservative governments that's sort of kicked off since 2015.
Saskatchewan's use of the notwithstanding clause for its pronoun law is being challenged in the Supreme Court. Alberta's law could face a similar fight. Aaron Collins, CBC News, Calgary.
Canada's main stock index finished more than 200 points higher on Wednesday, helped by strength in technology stocks, while U.S. markets also gained ground. Here's a look at the numbers as we head to break.
This weather update is brought to you in part by Atlantic Lottery's iGames. Play hundreds of games on the Atlantic Lottery app or at alc.ca.
All right, we've been talking about the sun. Hopefully we can wiggle some into the weekend. It's not too early to talk that way, is it?
No, never too early to talk about the weekend.
It's
Ryan.
true.
Come on.
It's true. And yes, Sunday does look like we will see some sunshine. Maybe even Saturday afternoon, depending on the timing of the clear out with that system that is coming in on Friday night. Let's first have a look at our viewer picture of the day. And this one, we're zooming right in to Halifax and Hale Pond. Love the name.
Yeah.
And as we look at this.
Right on point. Some
Gorgeous.
sun.
Helen Stewart with a beautiful sunrise photo. And yes, a terrific shot. Thanks to Helen for this. Ryan's picks at cbc.ca. Keep them coming. And as we look at the hour-by-hour outlook, it's going to be a frosty start to tomorrow. It will be a nice sunrise. But if you're going out to take a picture, make sure you've got the mittens and the toque on. Temperatures ranging between -2 and -7 for most to start. A little bit milder maybe along the Atlantic coastline in the southwest. And then you can see temperatures will warm up slowly but surely throughout the day tomorrow. And we'll get into that mid-single digit range yet again under a lot of sunshine. Big blue skies for tomorrow. And so we'll soak that up. And another chilly night shaping up for Thursday night. There are your temperature highs for tomorrow. As I said, mid-single digits on tap with those light winds. And there's Friday, and we will see some increasing clouds throughout the day on Friday. Temperatures 6, 7, 8 degrees, and some showers into the east on Friday afternoon. There's the system. It kind of looks like it's going to be moving offshore and harmlessly offshore, but just close enough to clip Cape Breton in the eastern mainland with some showers late day Friday. And then here comes that next system, which will slide in for Friday night and Saturday morning. Some gradual clearing for western areas into the afternoon, maybe some sunshine, but again, the sun sets so early now that we'll need an earlier clear out. But it does look like, we're back into the sun for Sunday.
Very good. Okay, thanks, Ryan. Well, in New York last night, someone bought a very expensive painting at a very expensive price.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think this is it. At $205 million. Here it is for this Elizabeth Lederer portrait, only at Sotheby's, here in the Breuer. The Klimt, Julian, is yours. Congratulations.
Yeah, you heard that right. $205 million US for the portrait by Austrian painter Gustav Klimt. The final price is $236 million when the auction house fees are at it.
It is a record price for a modern artwork, and it's the second highest price paid for any painting at an auction. The buyer was not identified, and the work was held in a private collection.
But Canadians had a chance to see the painting when it was on show at the National Gallery of Canada as part of a 5-year loan that just ended in September.
Neither of you bought it, right?
Not this time around.
Okay, just checking. That's it for us tonight. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Good night.
Good night.